Hi, my name is Cody, and this is a response to TotalBiscuit's Day 1 Garry's incident sort of fiasco that's going on. And for those of you that don't know what that is, TotalBiscuit received a unjust copyright strike for posting and monetizing Day 1 Garry's incident footage. And for those of you who don't know, everyone else that received review copies and everything else did not receive copyright strikes for Day 1 Garry's incident, myself included, which it was awesome being featured in a TotalBiscuit video, even if it was in, the circumstances were less fortuitous than I would have liked. But the fact is, he got an unjust copyright strike for perhaps censorship because his WTF was very negative towards Day 1 Garry's incident. And the fact that this happens is very kind of unsettling and very worrisome, especially for people like me, who do this, and, aren't big enough. TotalBiscuit, if he got 3 strikes, he could rebuild. I probably couldn't, or couldn't as easily even get to the small point that I am now. But the fact that people can abuse the copyright system, and unless you're a YouTuber, you don't really know how frustrating it is to deal with. They have this 3 strikes you're out policy, And for example, currently I'm sitting at 2 copyright strikes from games that I probably shouldn't have got copyright striked for. And I cannot get a hold of anyone. I cannot get a hold of a single person to get rid of my copyright strikes. Not a single person on this planet. I have tried. 2K says, yeah, we'll get back to you. They never do. Capcom doesn't even give you the courtesy of an automatic email response, so good luck trying to get a hold of Capcom. But it is absolutely ridiculous that people can abuse the system. And it's a shame, too, with what's happening with Wild Game Studios. Because the lead guy, I talked to him, when I got my press copy. He was nothing but nice to me. Gave me an extra copy of the game, and I already pre-purchased it. I just wanted an early copy to post stuff, a little early because, YouTube's a competitive field and whatnot. But it's absolutely ridiculous that they would give a strike to TotalBiscuit because, it was negative. And he says it's because he didn't have a right to use, their footage and in monetization, which is a bit ridiculous because go to, let's say, for the person I work with, Nukem Dukem, go to his video. Wild Game Studios commented on that. And I know for a fact that Doug monetizes all of his videos. My videos, all of them, I'm probably the only person who sat down and beat their game. I sat down and beat Day 1 Garry's and said, I deserve a medal. I deserve, like, a grand prize and a model on my arm. Because I beat that game. But I didn't get, mine have been monetized, for weeks since, I think, September 21st. And right now it's October 21st, and I still haven't got a strike. I unmonetized them after this whole situation and privated them and then made them public again, but it's absolutely ridiculous that this system can be abused. And YouTube seems to, they want higher quality content, but they don't, or consistent content or whatever, bring in the viewers, get us our ad money. But they don't really care to help the people that make it. They don't give us a reason to dedicate all of our time to this. They don't give any reason to, because they don't help you. Do you think YouTube helps or gives a damn if you get a copyright strike? An unjust one? Do you think they give a damn? No. Try getting a hold of it if you don't have a network that knows how to do this stuff. Try getting rid of a copyright strike. It's not going to happen. I've tried for months to get rid of mine, and no avail. And TotalBiscuit he'll bounce back fine. He'll gain subscribers from this whole fiasco, gain subscribers, gain video views, and probably lose his copyright strike when all's said and done. But us little guys, no, we're boned. Not even little guys with a couple 100,000 subscribers probably couldn't get rid of some strikes, and it's absolutely ridiculous that this is the case. It's absolutely ridiculous that. You have to sit down and worry about this stuff, And if you're not a YouTuber, it's no big deal. And to some of the smaller people, we don't make our whole living, though I will say I make very good cash for what I do. I have to be honest. I cannot complain, especially being a college student. I can't complain about the money I make at the middle and end of the month. I cannot complain, but some of these guys, this is their full-time job. They use it to pay the bills. They use it to pay for schooling, house payments, groceries, what have you. And the fact that people can threaten your livelihood, you know, in a snap of the finger is, and abuse it too, you know, for whatever reason, is ridiculous. And most developers and publishers aren't like that. Sometimes it's just they send an automatic machine to do it, and you just get a strike just because that's what it was programmed to do or whatever. But it's a bit ridiculous that this whole situation's become this, unfortunately, and I feel sorry for Wild Game Studios, because I was actually one of the few people that did, like he said in his what the fuck video, sat down and bared through it just because I thought it was an interesting premise. And, I beat the entirety of Day 1 Garry's Incident. Oh, I beat it. I deserve a medal, because it was ridiculous, but, I hope this situation, I hope, they learn from this situation, and I hope they learn not to mess with a dedicated fan base like TotalBiscuit, because they will attack, and they will attack hard and fast. So, but my name's Cody, this is a little response. Oh, and the background footage is The Wolf Among Us, because I'm not uploading any more Day 1 footage. But the background footage is The Wolf Among Us. Very great game. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you like The Walking Dead and want more games like this from Telltale. So, have a great day. I'm going to go back to working on Batman Arkham Origins and Lego Marvel, so I am very busy right now. I've got 2 games to deal with. So, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.